Good afternoon, everyone. You are now tuned in to Situations the podcast. I'm your host, Kelvin.
And I'm your co-host, Miss Tiana. What's up, everybody?
How everybody out there doing this evening, or this afternoon, I should say. Tiana, how you feeling today?
I'm okay. Little allergies acting up, but I'm pretty good.
Okay, good. Well, today's topic, we're going to talk about something that I'm pretty sure a lot of you women are dealing with. Um, and I want to know if you can relate to any of these topics. Okay, you hear me?
Oh, okay.
Okay, all right. Well,
Okay.
okay, all right. So today we're going to talk about red flags of being in a narcissistic relationship.
Oh my goodness. Ooh-wee.
Well, I felt this was something that needed to be spoke on,
Uh-huh.
and I just felt that this was something that needed to be, we need to touch on.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna
All
start it
right.
off with the first question:
All right.
how can you tell if you're in a narcissistic relationship?
That be the thing. Sometimes you can't tell.
Okay,
Sometimes you can't tell because they will come in love bombing you to death, being
right,
Prince Charming and, doing and being everything that you would want, in a man or a dream guy, however you want to word it. So they get
okay.
you in to let your guard down, and now you feel like you're in a safe place. You know, that's how it starts.
But when you're dealing with a narcissistic individual, are
Hmm.
there any exhibitions that they put on display? So, you know what I'm saying, that give you these red flags?
That's what I'm saying. Not in the beginning. No, not in the
Okay.
beginning. It could be, I guess maybe they go off of your comfort level with them. So 6 months, a year, however long they feel it takes for you to get comfortable.
Okay.
And then they start out small, maybe saying something condescending or yelling a little bit or doing something and you like, hold on,
Right.
why you do that or why you say it like that? But in your mind, you love them, so you like you're not gonna make no big deal about it. And you like it's not that big of a deal because it's not like, it was blown all up out of proportion like that. I think those are the red flags where they just test you a little bit, and if they get away with it, it just keeps growing from there.
Right. Right. So gaslighting situations.
Yes.
Okay. Is that one of the signs and dismissing your feelings
Yes.
and things of that nature?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Gaslighting, dismissing your feelings, blaming you for situations that they create, with them saying or doing something. And then once you voice your opinion, it's because of you. Well, you made me do this.
Right.
How?
Okay. So, other words, you're saying that when a conversation takes place,
Right.
they become the center of that conversation. It's
Pretty
all
much.
about them.
Yes.
Okay. I'm with you. I see where you're going. Okay. So, for any women that's out there that may be possibly going through these type of things, what advice would you have to give them?
Get out now. Get out early. It's no amount of love you're gonna give this person, no amount of good deeds you're gonna be able to do. It's nothing you're gonna do because women, we're nurturers by nature. You know what I'm saying? Like by birth.
Right.
And we like, well, if I love on them, if I do this, if I do that, they're gonna see this and they're gonna be nice or they're gonna change or they're gonna recognize. No, they never do. It's like they're emotional vampires. They take all of your energy and nothing you do is never gonna be good enough. It's like they thrive off them being superior and then being able to uh, you know siphon all of your energy, basically.
Well, I know you talked on early warning signs of dealing with a narcissistic partner. You talking about
Hmm.
you stated they do a lot of love bombing, which is a red flag.
Right.
Okay, and what about showering you with gifts and things of that nature? Is that also part of the red flag they should look out for?
It is in the beginning, because that's what I'm saying. But they're doing all of the things that you want,
Okay,
so they don't mind doing it. They're gonna do it to get you in the safe place. Now you're vulnerable, and you let your guard down before they start sinking their teeth in.
right. Okay. So let me ask you this:
Okay.
why do you think narcissistics seem to be so charming at first?
I don't
Why do you
know. It
think
just
that?
make it because it seems like it's some type of form of chase or some type of game for them. Like they get a thrill out of manipulating people.
Okay,
So it's like I'm gonna do this and get to their sweet spot, and then when I take my mask off, they won't even recognize it fell off because I've been doing everything right. So when I start side swiping them, it's like they chip at you little by little, and it's like they get joy out of that.
okay.
And I know because I was in a relationship with one, and
And how did it
sometimes
end?
things would be said, and I would just be like, "Could you please stop? Just stop. Just stop. Just stop talking to me like that, or just please stop." And they would keep going. So to me now, it's like we just didn't have a heated decision, argument or dispute or something like that. Now you're doing it on purpose.
Okay.
Yeah,
So how did you end up uh not becoming a victim of this?
I had to start distancing myself, and that's the part that they don't like. But they make it seem like they did everything for you. You're not going to be nothing without them, and you're not going to be able to live without them. And when you cut them off, basically, it's, oh, I understand why you did that. If you can't have me, if it's not all or nothing, you don't want anything. No, sir, I don't want anything.
Right, right. So do you honestly think that a narcissistic person can really truly love someone?
I don't, because it's going to always be about them.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. It's not no amount of nothing that you can do. They're gonna enjoy being adorned and having all of your attention and the nice things or whatever. But to say that they really love you, I'm not 100% sure of that.
Okay. Well, I do know that um, their love is often conditional of self-serving, meaning they love you as long as they feel their ego is being their needs and their ego is being met.
But
That's
that's what I'm
that's my
saying.
take
So,
on it.
but right, but is that love? Because soon as you say no, or soon as you're not available, and soon as their ego is not stroked and their needs are not being met, they're treating you like shit. So that's not love.
Right. Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? That's why I was like, I don't think it's love.
I agree with you 100%. Okay.
Because people will say, "Oh man, love will have you all messed up." No, it don't. Love is love. People will have you all messed up with their actions and their choices and their words, not love. And I think that's where people get a lot of uh that's where a lot of confusion come in. And also for people like me, I'm loyal to a fault. So it's like I be forgiving people and I be dismissing stuff for the sake of not arguing. So my whole thing is if I'm trying to avoid conflict and you're still bringing it to me, then it's not me, it's you.
Okay. So you stated that you was in a relationship, so in such a relationship like this.
Hmm.
Did you ever feel that you was walking on eggshells in that relationship?
I did. I did.
Okay.
Like 70% of the time.
Okay.
And nobody knew. Everybody thought I was happy. and then bliss or whatever. And I'm not gonna say it wasn't no good moments because it was, but it's like hindsight looking back at it, like the good did not outweigh the bad.
Right.
Not when a person is trying to make you feel like you're unworthy or like everything is your fault. I
Okay.
lost, family members and stuff like that. And to me, the empathy just wasn't there. I've been dealing with issues of me being sick with, these allergies and just different stuff that's going on. And
Right.
that's my fault too.
Right.
I'm like, who wakes up and want to be sick or not be feeling good today or tomorrow? Like that's not nobody's fault.
Well, I do know that narcissists they very are, unpredictable. With the mood swings, the
Right,
criticism, the manipulation
right.
tactics, you know, they do anything they need to do to make you feel that you're in the wrong. I do know that for certain.
And
And
I've
especially when
experienced
you're
all
not.
of it.
Right. Now, by you experiencing something of that nature,
Hmm.
you have two girls yourself. How do you
Right.
transpire that information to them? How do you tell them what to look out for and the red flags to look for?
Everything we're talking about now, you can't
Okay.
sugarcoat it. And I think as parents, that's what we do. We feel like our kids are not ready, for things, or we don't want to have talks with them, or we don't want to use certain verbiage, you know what I'm saying, or communicate in a certain way with them or whatever. Like, oh, their ears are not ready for that yet. Well, guess what? You better get them ready, or the world and somebody else is going to. They're not going to be ready. So it's
Okay.
like instead of trying to, feel like we're protecting them, we have to equip them so they can be ready.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm kind of glad we touched bases on this topic today because I have a clip that I want to share
Okay.
with the viewers. And then after this clip, we're going to give our feedback on the clip. And I'm pretty sure throughout this clip, we've already probably pretty much touched on some of this stuff that we're going to witness here. Okay.
Okay.
So let's
All
let's
right.
take a look at this clip and we're gonna give our feedback afterwards.
Okay.
Okay, hold on, I'm having a moment here. Give me a second.
So I don't know if you guys have seen Judge Lynn growing up, but there's an episode where she kind of describes a narcissistic type of guy in detail and what he does. So we'll take a look at this and I'll comment along the way.
You got baited, trapped, and now he's trying to destabilize you. He love bombed you in the beginning. Oh, you're wonderful, you're this, you're that. He does that with all women because that's his MO.
Manipulative men will try to speed up the affection to try to get you bought in quickly so that they don't have to actually show you who they really are. They're hoping that you'll just buy into the love.
That's how he does. And then once he gets a woman ensnared and thinking that, wow, this is who he is and this is how he can be, then he kind of chips away at who you are. So you kind of feel destabilized. You're always trying to please him because he tells you you're not quite good enough.
Manipulators know that you being happy and confident works against their plan to be selfish. So what they try to do is chip away by making you insecure so that you feel like you have to work for their approval.
And you see him with other women and he shows you that he can be with other women to make you feel like you're not stable and you're not safe and you're insecure, but you're still waiting to get back to that time when he loved you that much. And every once in a while he may dangle a little bit of that love out in front of you, but his job is, other than that, to keep you under his thumb so he can behave as he wants to behave. And that's why he's all weird about all of that. You talking to other men, you talking to your man. He wants you isolated and alone. He doesn't want you to.
So I don't know.
Okay.
Ooh-wee.
After what you just witnessed,
Hmm.
how much of it what she stated was you think was true?
All of it.
Okay.
All of it is 100% true.
Okay. Was it something that was some of those signs that she talked about? Is something that you experienced?
Yes. Everything.
Okay.
How they get you isolated. It would be times I wanted to do things or go hang out with my friends. Well, we can do this. You know,
Right.
when people are, I feel like when you in a relationship, you still are your own person. You just decided to share your time and space with somebody else, but you still have individual goals that you want to work on. You still have, things that you want to do. And, I feel like it's healthy for a couple to have their own friends and stuff like that and do stuff. And we don't necessarily have to do every single thing together. And I don't have a problem with people going out. Go out with the guys. Go have a great time, baby. Do whatever you want to do. Go out.
Right.
Enjoy yourself. But for me, then it's, oh, well, not, you know, we could do this, we could do that, or whatever. And I'm like, no, I already have plans. Or even when I'm out, I'm getting text messages and phone calls and stuff like that. But I don't do that when you're out, you know.
Right. Right.
So, I mean, everything she said was true.
So how do narcissistic how do they I mean now help me kind of help me understand.
Okay.
Excuse me. How do they manipulate their partners? What are some
Well,
tactics that they use besides the love bombing and the gaslight? And what other tactics are there that they use to pull this off?
they use sex, draining your sexual energy. And then now you're tired, you can't be productive. And now you're being called lazy or, what are you doing?
Okay.
But it's up to them. If you're trying to be creative, like me, I'm a creative person or whatever. Um, we have photo shoots and different stuff like that. And I would, I'm my own glam team. I'm doing my own hair, makeup, styling. You know how I have to do pack two,
Right.
three suitcases with everything, just be very detailed. So I take time to do that when I'm at home. Well, come see me first. I'm feeling neglected. You see what I'm saying? It's like
Right.
you can't win for losing. So I don't get to have time to do the things that I need to do.
Okay. So what about blame shifting?
It's always blame shifting.
Okay.
The one time I was at a person's house and they had a pizza on before I got there. I cook, but I never use a timer and I don't use measurements for stuff. I just know how to cook, growing up being in the kitchen with my grandmother and, whoever I learned from and stuff like that.
Right.
So I'm sitting there on my phone and they're in the living room or whatever. So the timer starts going off, which means that the pizza is ready, but I've never used a timer before.
Okay.
So the person walked back there telling me, like, you need to get the fuck off the phone. You don't hear the damn timer going off. And I'm like, what timer? You don't hear that beeping? Okay, I don't know what that is. You didn't explain that to me. And, now I'm looked at or, oh, that just don't make no damn sense. Like, are you slow or something? If a
Wow.
person don't know what it is or never used it, how are they slow? So you started a procedure and had something going before I even got here. Then you decided to go do something else. And because I don't have all the details of what's going on, now I'm slow. So it was a blame shifting moment
Right.
for something as trivial as the timer going off because the pizza was ready. I don't
What
think
about
that's warranted for, cursing somebody out.
okay. Well, what about like emotional blackmail to keep control or keep the power of the relationship? Is that a red flag? Is that a sign as well?
Yes, it is. I've had, I'm just giving examples of my life and what I had. I had some photo shoots and they said they wanted to go. So I'm like, okay, you thinking you have a supportive partner. And then we get there, like the person who invited me was like, who are you? Her everything. And then as soon as, we get into a dispute or argument, I've been there for you. I was there for you through everything. I carried your bags. I did this. I didn't ask you to do any of that. You invited yourself. And
Right.
now you're saying you're everything. So basically, all the talent that I have, all the things that I want to do, all the opportunities that I'm having, it's because of you. You're my everything.
Right. Well, we have a comment. We have a comment here.
Okay. Okay.
Nia Diamond. She said, you really be so committed to time and effort that you put in and thinking it's all up to you. You need to do it, make it better. Okay. Nia, can you elaborate a little more on what that means? Tell us exactly what you mean when you say that. Okay. Um, question. Do narcissists ever or never admit to their wrong?
No, because at first the person told me they don't make mistakes and they're not wrong. And if they did something, I made them do it. So that's not taking accountability.
Right. Well, yeah, I think admitting fault threatens their sense of self.
The
So I
only
think
time
they
it was the only time it was admitted that was wrong when I cut all contact. And then they wanted to speak or whatever, and I made the phone call or whatever, and it was, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And I'm like, you said that a whole bunch of times before. Like, the sorry doesn't work anymore.
right,
I wish you the best. Stay away from me. Stay over there, and I'm gonna stay over here.
right. Wow, that's sad. That is, it's sad that it's like that. It really is. But
And it
what type
was.
of help?
I took into accountability the amount of years I had known the person a long time,
Hmm.
and then the opportunity finally presented itself for us to be together. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it was. And it was, friendships. We all have people in our lives where we be like, oh, they just like that. Like you be giving people passes because you've been knowing them for 20 and 30 years. But no, wrong is wrong behavior. You know what I'm saying? No matter who it's coming from.
Right. So let me ask you this:
Okay.
do you think a narcissistic person will ever change or can ever change? And if so, what type of help do you think they need to seek?
I don't think they will ever change because in your mind, if you feel like nothing is ever your fault, you're never wrong,
Right.
and it doesn't matter what anybody do. You know what I'm saying? It's never pleasing to you because it's like you get an adrenaline rush off of the continued supply of whatever they're doing, their time, their attention, the gifts, the
Right.
admiration, whatever's being given to them. It's never enough. So the cycle just keep repeating itself with different people, and then when they meet somebody else, you're the crazy one, and now they're love bombing them until their story happens. But I can bet you my last dollar if me and the other people that the person dealt with before me could all sit down in a room, we would have some similar stories to tell.
Okay. So a true change is rare. That's basically what you're saying.
Yes,
Okay.
that's what I believe. But that's just my opinion. Somebody else might be saying anybody could change. I don't know because if they never want to take an accountability, how can change happen if there's no accountability?
Well, I do
Because you
know
don't
for a
even feel
fact.
like you need at
Right.
that point you would feel like you don't have anything to work on, right?
Right. Well, I do know for a fact that narcissists often lack the self awareness and the desire to improve. I know that for a fact.
Okay.
You know,
So we can't say they that's a permanent thing because I sat down and told the person the things that was happening and things that I felt they need to work on and change and stuff like that. So they couldn't say they wasn't aware anymore because I made them aware. They didn't care.
right.
And I
Yeah.
got blamed saying it's your fault.
Wow. Okay. In those type of relationships,
Hmm.
what drains you? What makes you feel emotionally drained when you're dealing with that type
Because
of individual?
you're on an emotional roller coaster. 1 minute you're happy. And it's like soon as you're happy, oh, let me drain all of her energy. If you're trying to be productive, well, come and see me. When you productive and you have a busy day or you have stuff going on, I'm not saying I want to see you. I feel neglected. It's like you're asking the person to choose between the things that they need to do and you, and you're more important. And that's not fair, because that's what I'm saying. In any relationship, or even if you marry, if your husband or wife is going to work, they have a job. You already know this.
Right.
You're going to be a damsel in distress. Oh, honey, come home. I just need you right now. This and that. Okay, then you going to blame him and be complaining why the bills ain't paid. You see what I'm saying? It's like now
Right.
you blaming him, but you caused this.
For anybody that's going through this type of relationship, you stated earlier, just to get out, right?
Yeah, I would say get out early. Don't look at it as small and trivial, because that's how it starts out and it just keep building from there. Don't look at the length of time you known each other. Don't think that you're exempt, like they wouldn't do it to you. They're gonna do it to you because it's you. And
Okay.
especially if it's a really strong person, I think they get more satisfaction in seeing how far they can go and if they can break you.
Now, when you was dealing with that type of relationship,
Hmm.
was it more of you giving and them taking? Because I do know narcissists, it's give,
Yeah,
give, give, and they just take, take, take.
they gave. I will be lying to say that they didn't give,
Okay.
but I felt like I gave more. And I felt like when I expressed when I was tired or when I wasn't feeling well, or if I needed my energy and time to do other things, they still made it about them. So it's like, damn, I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't. And I'm like, that's not something I want to be in, because I'm not getting in any relationship to say, screw my life and the dreams and goals and the things that I have to just keep appeasing another person. But then
Right.
they'll turn around and say, oh, they want you to do all of these things, but then they want to take the credit for it. They only want you to do these things so they can reap the benefit of it. They not really happy for you doing them.
Yeah.
Because if I'm saying I need to get some sleep, or I need this day to prepare for this photo shoot or whatever the case may be, then you would give me that time and you wouldn't say, well, come see me first. Right? You would,
Right.
if you genuinely want to see a person win, you give them the time that they need, to
Absolutely.
prepare for that. And they're gonna need their rest, and everything for that.
Okay. So, for those of us out there watching, and you're telling pretty much your story,
Hmm.
um, so we can confirm that you got out safely.
I got out safely. But I definitely took some time to heal. I wasn't in a rush to date or anything like that, because it was like I was beating myself up over why I had stayed in it, why did I allow certain things to happen. But I was a woman in love, you know what I'm saying? And when you're in love, it's like you don't just run because you have, a little conflict or something like that. But like it was just reaching different heights that had me, speechless. Like, wow, this person really kicked me while I was down, or while I was grieving, or while I was going through something. There was no empathy, compassion, or anything. And I'm like, at some point, my soul was tired, and I did feel like my spirit was broken. And I'm like, this is not somebody I can deal with again. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to
Right.
get out and cut all ties. And I prayed about it, and I asked for the soul tie to be removed.
Right.
Because it's not that easy when you are enthralled with someone, when you're giving them a lot of your time. People think when you lay down with people sexually and be around them and stuff like that, no, your spirits are connected.
That's true.
You be in
Well,
tune with that person, and then you started to be on an emotional roller coaster when they start sending you through all these different changes.
right. Well, I do want to say, I'm proud of you for being woman enough to figure it out and being
Thank
strong
you.
enough to get out.
Yes.
So I want to applaud you for that
Thank
as
you.
well, because most women, I think what happens with most women in situations like this, they stay a little too long,
Right.
and then it turns into something more tragic.
Right. And I think my situation was a little different because I had my own place. Like
Okay.
we didn't live together. So, because
Okay.
that would have been totally different with me being under the same roof with this person. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it would have been maybe a little more harsh
Right.
and harder to get out of.
Well, let me ask you. Okay. Well, let me ask you. Let me ask you this: when
Okay.
you dealing with an individual as such, were there any boundaries that can be actually set? Did they
You said
leave? Did
when you're
they
dealing.
when you're dealing with an individual like that?
Okay.
How hard was it to set boundaries? Or was any boundaries ever set?
Yes, I mean I have my boundaries going in,
Okay.
but and for me I'm a giver. So it wasn't just him, it was people around me and like I have kids, even with my kids. It was like I really just had to start telling everyone no and not feel guilty about it. And I'm like I wanted to be like I love God, but you know, I was mad at him for a while too, and I had to work out, my relationship with God. And that's what helped me to get recentered again because I went back to when I was a little girl and he was my safe place and I would talk to him and I would hear his voice and he would guide me. But, that was the only way that I got out.
Right.
Um, I don't really know what else to say, but just if you see any red flags or if you have gut feelings or intuition about something, don't ignore it and don't dismiss something as small, as trivial. Oh, he's just having a bad day, or oh, she just acting crazy. No, when people show you who they are, believe them.
Right.
I was in love with the idea of the amount of years that I've known a person and who they showed me. But once I actually got into the relationship,
Right.
and it started happening. I'm like, well, it was a totally different person. I'm telling you, it's not. It's two different people, and it's like, who are you? Like, wow, it's
Right.
mind
Well,
blowing.
because I know when you're dealing with a narcissistic individual and you try to set those boundaries, they often act with anger, manipulation, and guilt. They always guilt tripping when they're
They
faced
do,
with boundaries.
they
They
do.
don't like losing control of the situation, so they push hard. I
No,
think they push harder to make you feel guilty for asserting yourself.
right.
That's just
Well,
my
see, that
take
was the
on it.
thing. They do, and that's why I said I had a Marlin shoot, the next day or whatever. And I was like, no, I'm staying home tonight. I got to prepare for this. I want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Plus, I want to get whatever little rest that I can get. Maybe I can see you afterwards or, when we both free and stuff like that. Well, I'm feeling neglected and you need to come see me tonight. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's
Right.
everything that you just said.
Right. Yeah. That's sad.
Because if I'm with you and you tell me you busy and you preparing stuff for the podcast or you got different shoots coming up and you trying to prepare your calendar, why would I say I'm feeling neglected and you need to see me tonight?
Right.
That's your business.
Right.
You need time to schedule and prepare for the things that you need to take care of.
So why do you think they act like that? Why do you think they blame their partner for everything? What makes you think what's the cause of that? Why would they do such a thing, you think? In your
Because
personal opinion.
the goal for them is to always feel like they're superior. So if you start feeling like you're not doing nothing right or you always being blamed, that's going to chip away at your self confidence, like the judge was saying. Now you're not feeling confident about yourself. Now you're, questioning everything that you're doing. And now you can't make clear decisions because you're second guessing your own self and everything that you're doing now instead of leading with confidence like you probably once was doing. Like, I feel great about this. This is what I'm rolling with.
Right.
Because when you are with someone and you love them, you always want to consider their feelings. When you make a decision, you don't want to feel like uh your ego is taking over and it's just all about you and what you want. I try to be very compromising, But it's like I still have some, boundaries and deal breakers where it's like, no, I'm not doing that. Like, because what if the relationship do end tomorrow? So once I dissolve everything that I have going on, or I give all my time for you, now I'm left with nothing.
Right.
So that would make the statement true of you saying, I'm your everything, this and that, or whatever. In a sense, that would be true because I let you manipulate me to the point where, I dissolved everything I had going on to be at your beck and call, to make you happy.
Wow. Was you ever faced with isolation?
Yeah, but like I said, we lived in two different households. So, but like I said, it would be times that I wanted to hang out with girlfriends, or I had other friends which I introduced them to. So it wasn't like they didn't know who the people were because I introduced them or whatever. And it's, well, we can do this. So if you go hang out with your friends or you do different activities where I'm not involved, why do I have to choose on today I want to spend time with my friends when I'm pretty much seeing you 3 or more days out the week and I'm really not seeing my friends that often and I've actually known them longer than you've been in my life.
Right.
Why is it a choice? Why don't I get to go out and hang with the people that love and adore me too?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm glad you got out of that situation because
Me too.
I don't feel no woman should be faced with that type of adversity. I really don't.
I don't. I don't. And I feel like it goes both ways. We not gonna sit up there and say it's just only men because there's some women out here that's narcissists and gaslighting and mistreating men and blaming them for, things that they create and situations that they create and stuff like that too. So it definitely works both ways.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that the man is weak or nothing like that. When you have a man that loves you and that want to make sure you're good, and now you're starting arguments with him so you can go out and cheat, or you want to hang out with your friends, or you don't want to, put any effort into the relationship, or whatever the reason is why you're, neglecting him, and now you start, blaming him. Well, I don't want to be around you because of this or because of that. Okay, well, if it's an issue and it could be fixed, then help him. Don't
Right.
run out into the streets or don't try to belittle him. So that's, I'm like, I feel like it works both ways. It's just not, it's for men and women.
Um, with that being said,
Hmm.
what triggers a narcissistic individual's rage?
Being told no, uh, them not having your attention, just whatever the case may be. I had went and got another job one time and was working somewhere else, you know, and then that turned into, damn, I don't even see you no more. It's like, what?
What they didn't want you to work?
Well, first it came out. First of all, it wasn't never no clear communication on, uh, this is what I want us to do. Let's sit down. I want us to move together, this and that. And then it was, well, if you go get a job and have the check stubs, we can do this and that. It was talks about getting a house and stuff like that.
Right.
I ended up having to leave the job because of it was affecting my health. They had me working 12 hours a day, and it was supposed to be a part-time job. And I'm talking about 4 or 5 days in a row.
Okay.
So I was just tired. I wasn't getting rest, and I'm working 12 hours and going right back really early in the morning. So that turned into, now I'm not seeing you. So first you wanted me to get another job, and then when I got it, uh, now it's, damn, you don't see me, and now it's affecting my health, which I end up having to get a blood transfusion. That was my fault. That I was tired and I had to get the blood transfusion because I was overworked.
You were blamed for having to have a blood
Yes,
transfusion?
yes.
Wow. We have a comment here. Let me see.
Okay.
Mace, do community guidelines overrule freedom of speech? Mace, can you be a little more specific when you with that question? And when you say do community guidelines overrule freedom of speech, um, what do you mean when you say that? You have an idea, Tiana, of what he's indicating?
I don't know. Is he saying that to
Well, he's asking
sometimes you
he's
get
asking a question. A question is being asked, and do community guidelines overrule freedom of speech?
as in what, YouTube? You know what I'm saying? Like, can you curse? What community guidelines
I know
and
I'm not
freedom of
certain.
speech?
That's why I told him I need to be a little more specific. That way we can probably answer your question a little better.
Right.
Okay. Um. Wow. It's been very touching. It's kind of been a touchy subject today. And like I said,
Yeah, and
I
sometimes you'll think it won't happen to you, but it happens more often than people think or know.
right. Well, people just got to know, like you say, you just got to know when to get out. You got to know when
Right.
to get out. And that was
And
gonna
that's what I
be
say in the beginning. Right. Don't be dismissive of stuff. If something, even if you thinking something, like we could think a whole bunch of stuff or make it make sense in our head even when it don't. I tell everybody you can't make up a feeling. You can overthink a million things, but you can't make up a feeling. When
right.
something don't feel right, it's not right.
Absolutely.
So that was my biggest lesson with that I've learned.
Well,
Always to trust my own instinct.
once again, like I said, I'm glad you was strong enough and
Yeah.
woman enough to realize, what was taking place and that you
Mhm.
deserved better and was able to get out of there,
Right.
and get out safely. So
Me
once again,
too.
my hat goes off to you for that,
Thank
because
you.
um the average woman that may be dealing with
Right.
situations like this here, thinking,
Right.
okay, it's gonna get better, or he said he
Right.
loved me, he gonna do
Right.
this, and he gonna, you know what I'm saying? And it's too late.
And just
And
think about women that has been in relationships or marriages 10 years, 20 years. Like that relationship was only 3 years for me, although that's still a long time to be with somebody, but 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, she don't want to go start a whole new life all over again. So she stays in hopes that things will change.
right,
And they keep getting worse.
okay, Mace,
But I'm like,
go
what did
ahead.
he
I'm
say?
sorry. Yeah, he replied back. He said he want to talk freely. By all means, brother, you feel free to,
Go
if you got
ahead.
any, right, talk freely.
Go ahead.
If anything you want to say in regards to this show, or if you ever want to be a guest on this show, contact us. That's what this podcast is
Yes.
all about. We
Yes.
want you to talk freely. We want you to be open minded. This is a grown
Right.
folks show. We
Right.
don't cut no corners. We don't hold nothing back. We speak all facts.
Right.
So if you want to speak freely, this is a platform to do so. Okay. Um. Well, I know we spoke on you getting out of that relationship safely,
Mhm.
but let me see, how do I want to word this? What can you give someone? What kind of advice can you give someone to get out of a relationship like that safely?
That's what I just said. I'm like, just trust your own judgment. Definitely let somebody know what's going on and plan your exit strategy however you can. And when you get out, you definitely need to speak to somebody, get some type of counseling, or be able to talk to someone about it. I did that. I journaled, I wrote stuff down. I went through different emotions. I screamed, I cried. I did everything that I needed to do to deal with the pain and the hurt and the accountability of me staying in it, and being blinded, by what I thought was love, and it wasn't that. And just doing small things to just build the trust up with myself again and not beat myself up over it. If I feel like I'm hungry at that moment, I'm going to eat. I'm not going to wait till later. If I feel like I want to go get ice cream, I'm doing it. It's those little things that you do to build up trust in yourself again. Get up, do things to make yourself feel great. Play your favorite song. Be around people that genuinely loves you. Be around people that would love to see you coming and that are happy to see you coming. Get hugs. Just like express love and receive it back when it's there for you to receive. Because that's the only way you're really going to be able to move forward. Because even if you get out, if you stay stuck in the okay, now that you're out and you don't create new memories, you're still going to be stuck there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you have to continue to live and fill your life up with new memories and amazing things for you to move on fully.
Right. Okay. Well, we got a couple comments here. We got a comment from Rodney Bogan,
Okay,
and he stated, "That's when gaslighting comes into play. They tell you they're going to change, but it never happens. That's true.
absolutely,
That's true."
absolutely.
And then,
And then that's what I'm saying. But and then they'll do something nice for you and they'll be good, as far as like not causing any conflict or talking crazy or whatever they may be doing. They won't do that for a while. And now you like, okay, I actually see the change. And boom, then they hit you with something else.
with that,
You be
right,
like,
hit you
what
over the
the
head,
hell?
like, right.
So but that's what I'm saying. And that's how you become erratic. You walking on eggshells and you're on an emotional roller coaster. And before you look up, you looking like, damn, I've been in this for 3 years dealing with this.
Okay,
No
Rodney
wonder
also
why
stated,
I'm feeling like I'm crazy.
right, Rodney also stated there need to be more support groups available for individuals. I'm pretty sure that may be some out there, Rodney. I'm pretty sure,
Yeah,
but you're absolutely right. We need more support groups for women that's dealing with
right,
situations like this. We absolutely do.
right. And I would say
Mace,
the support groups is gonna be great, but also that's what I'm saying, the aftercare, self care, going out, not staying isolated, really still taking the time to heal, because you're going to be really vulnerable and raw. So
right,
you don't want to just go out into the world and people that don't know you, because it's some cool people out here. People say stuff they don't know you. So you will be subjected to all that. So take the time to heal enough to where you know you're okay. And now you can start interacting and being around other people again and doing things. But the people that you do feel safe with and the things that do make you smile and bring you joy, do more of those things so you can start feeling like yourself again.
right. Okay. Well, I appreciate all you guys that's tuned in there. I appreciate everyone that's commented. For those that
Me
are
too.
just now tuning in, if you kind of have um, I'm pretty sure you have an idea of what we're speaking on right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run that clip back one more time. That way
Okay.
everybody can kind of be up to speed, and then that way you guys will know
Okay.
exactly what we're dealing with and what we're talking about. So stay tuned.
Okay.
So I don't know if you guys have seen Judge Lynn growing up, but there's an episode where she kind of describes a narcissistic type of guy in detail and what he does. So we'll take a look at this and I'll comment along the way.
You got baited, trapped, and now he's trying to destabilize you. He love bombed you in the beginning. Oh, you're wonderful, you're this, you're that. He does that with all women because that's his MO.
Manipulative men will try to speed up the affection to try to get you bought in quickly so that they don't have to actually show you who they really are. They're hoping that you'll just buy into the love.
That's how he does. And then once he gets a woman ensnared and thinking that, wow, this is who he is and this is how he can be, then he kind of chips away at who you are. So you kind of feel destabilized. You're always trying to please him because he tells you you're not quite good enough.
Manipulators know that you being happy and confident works against their plan to be selfish. So what they try to do is chip away by making you insecure so that you feel like you have to work for their approval.
And you see him with other women and he shows you that he can be with other women to make you feel like you're not stable and you're not safe and you're insecure, but you're still waiting to get back to that time when he loved you that much. And every once in a while he may dangle a little bit of that love out in front of you, but his job is, other than that, to keep you under his thumb so he can behave as he wants to behave. And that's why he's all weird about all of that. You talking to other men, you talking to your man. He wants you isolated and alone. He doesn't want you to.
So I don't know.
Okay. So for those of you who are just not tuning in, that's kind of what we're dealing with today. Today's topic was 15 red flags to know you're dealing with a narcissistic or you're in a narcissistic relationship. Okay. Mace, He stated, most women and children are red flags. Most women with children are red flags. Okay. I can see where you're trying to go with that. Okay. Well, I think that may pretty much conclude today's show, Tiana. Once again, I think we had another great topic, another great episode.
Okay.
Um, and once again, I
Mhm.
appreciate everyone that's tuned in today. You know, this show wouldn't be anything if it wasn't for the support of you guys. So I want you guys to continue to support the show. Every week, we're gonna broadcast something different. We're gonna talk topics that we can relate to, and that's really topics that's really affecting our community. Okay, so I ask you guys to get over to our YouTube channel at Situation the Podcast. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you turn that notification bell. That way you'll be informed when any new content is posted. Um, I know I said I was going to do a giveaway. Tiana, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me bring Tiana back into this. Because, Tiana, I know we said we was going to do a giveaway today, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm. Okay.
I got so tied up and caught up into this episode. Uh, I lost track of, the idea. Okay. But,
Okay.
uh,
Mhm.
what I'm going to do is I can assure you next week show, I'm going to open up the show with a giveaway. What you think, Tiana?
I think that's pretty cool. I'm not sure what's going on now.
Like your camera is like it's trying to clear back up. Um, Ronnie say, "Why I don't have that towel?" Well, I didn't feel the towel was necessary for today's show, so that's probably why I don't have on the towel for today. You know, that'd be I leave the fancy stuff to my co-host. That's her expertise, so I leave that up to her. Okay. Yeah, Tiana, your camera, like your camera is isolating a little bit.
I know.
Okay. Well, what I want to do now is, Tiana, I want you to tell everybody where they can find you at.
You guys can find me on Facebook. My camera is frozen.
Your camera frozen. Okay. Let me. Okay, everyone.
Yes.
Um, all the description details will be in the description. Where be able to find our co-host. She's having some camera difficulties right now. But once again, I want to thank everybody that tuned into today's show. I want to say thank you for your continued support. And make sure you guys get over to our YouTube channel at Situation the Podcast and turn on that notification bell. I can't stress this enough. Once again, all the details will be in the description of this show. So if you want to reach out to my co-host for any styling tips, any makeup tips, uh, anything that she's a fashion model. So if you guys are in the need for that particular service, feel free to reach out to her. Once again, my name is Kelvin. I'm your host of Situations the Podcast. And before I tune out, I got to run this real quick.
Thank you guys for tuning in to today's show. We greatly appreciated it. We look forward to seeing you next Sunday for another amazing episode of Situations the Podcast.
Okay, y'all. Once again, my co-host, she's still having technical difficulties with her camera. So once again, I want to say thank you guys for tuning in. And we'll look forward to seeing you guys next week. Make sure you meet us there. Peace.